Losing a significant amount of weight, it's something so many of us think about, right? But it's also super personal. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise, all the quick fix promises, and we're going to break down how it really happens.
42 pounds. Now, that's not just some random number we pulled out of a hat. For a lot of people, losing 42 pounds it's transformational. It's the difference between feeling completely stuck and finally feeling in control. Going from clothes that hide your body to clothes that you actually feel great in. It's a huge, life-changing amount of weight.
Okay, so that leads to the big question, right? Is there really one perfect diet, some ultimate workout plan? A single magic formula that just works for everyone? I mean, we hear about these secrets all the time, but is that really how it works?
Well, to find out, we did a deep dive. We looked at the stories of a bunch of different people who all hit that exact same milestone. And what we found was, honestly, fascinating. The way they did it, what they ate, how they moved, what got them started, it was all radically different. So in this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers and find those common threads that are hiding in plain sight.
All right, first things first, and this might be the most important part of the whole puzzle, winning the mental game. Because let's be real, before you ever count a single calorie or take a single step on a treadmill, it all starts with your why.
So what was that big tipping point? What was the spark? For someone like Katie Gallagher, it was a really painful breakup. She actually used that heartbreak to fuel what she called her revenge body journey. Then you have someone like the creator Taste Pink. For her, it was just this perfect storm of life stress. I mean, moving 3 times in 4 months while her dad was sick, that's overwhelming. And for others, it wasn't some big external event. It was a quieter, internal thing. Just that feeling of being completely trapped and wanting, more than anything, to get back in the driver's seat of their own life.
And this quote from Jessica Cook just nails it. She says, "It's hard to fix your habits if you always see yourself the same way." For her, the real journey wasn't even about her body. Not really. It was about fixing those shaky foundations, as she put it. That low self-esteem, that little voice in your head that's always so critical. She realized you just can't build a new life on top of an old, broken mindset. That internal shift, it had to happen first.
Okay, so that's the mental game. Super important. But how does that actually translate to, the food? Let's talk about nutrition. Man, if there's one topic that is just full of conflicting advice, this is it. But what's so cool about these stories is they show us there is absolutely more than one way to fill your plate.
Basically, we saw 2 totally opposite philosophies pop up, and both of them worked. On one side, you've got the trackers. These are people like Michael Kobe and Katie Gallagher, who are super meticulous. They used apps to count every single calorie and macro to make sure they were in a deficit. But then, on the complete other side of the spectrum, you have the reformers. People like Ruth Soukup or Jessica Cook. They didn't count calories at all. Nope, they focused entirely on the quality of their food and on things like hormone balance.
And as you can imagine, what they ate was worlds apart. The calorie trackers, their plates were loaded with things like egg whites, chicken, broccoli, protein bars, the drill. The folks focusing on hormones, they were eating full-fat dairy and avocado oil, but completely avoided added sugar. Taste Pink's vegetarian cleanse was all about pea protein, lentils, and beans. And then you've got Leela, who is doing the super intense 75 hard program. She was on a strict vegan diet with 0 grains, sugar, or alcohol. I mean, think about that. 4 completely different approaches. Yet they all got to the same 42-pound finish line. Wild.
All right, so that's food. What about moving your body? Exercise. And surprise, surprise, just like with food, there was no one-size-fits-all workout plan. People found success everywhere from a traditional gym right down to their own living room floor. It's all about finding what works for you.
I mean, just look at this menu of options. You've got Katie Gallagher doing that classic structured gym split, leg day, arm day, chest day, with cardio mixed in. Then you have Taste Pink, who did it all from home. No gym membership, she was using YouTube trainers for high IT workouts and got amazing at jump rope. Michael Kobe started as simple as it gets, just walking, and he's slowly worked his way up to running. And then, of course, you've got the super intense end of the spectrum with Leela and 75 Hard. We're talking 2 separate 45-minute workouts every single day.
But then you get this totally counterintuitive idea. Jessica Cook says she dropped the weight by actually doing less, not more. How amazing is that? She realized that these super long, grueling workouts just weren't sustainable for her. So instead, she switched to these really efficient, focused workouts. Think 3 30-minute strength sessions a week. And that's such a crucial point, right? For so many people, consistency is way more important than intensity.
Okay, so let's recap.
We've seen totally different diets, completely different workout plans, and super personal motivations, which brings us to the big finale. The most important question of all. What was the real secret sauce here? If everyone's path was so different, what did they all have in common?
It turns out the secret sauce wasn't a single ingredient, but a recipe with 4 key parts. First, start small. Everybody started with something manageable. Michael Kobe didn't try to run a marathon on day 1, he just went for a walk. Second, track something. It didn't matter if it was calories in an app, or your daily steps, or even just taking a progress photo every day like they do in 75 Hard. That data just keeps you aware and motivated. Third, find accountability. So important. Katie Gallagher had a workout buddy. Having someone or a community in your corner makes a huge difference. And fourth, and this is a big one, adapt and evolve. When Taste Pink hit a plateau, she didn't just quit. She looked at her diet, realized even healthy carbs like beans were holding her back, and she adjusted. She changed her approach.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. The secret to losing 42 pounds, it's not some magic diet or a celebrity workout DVD. It's about being your own scientist. It's trial and error. It's about finding that unique combination of food, movement, and mindset that finally clicks for you. And then building a system around it that you can actually live with. Not for 30 days, but for the long haul.
You see, every single person we looked at threw the one-size-fits-all rule book out the window. Instead, they built a system that was tailor-made for their own body, their own brain, and their own crazy life. They all found what worked for them. So really, the only question left to ask is, what's your system going to be?